I never forget our first meeting. Here he is. He's a 13-year-old young man, and he's staring into the face of a 63-year-old older man.
First meeting, it was a lot of Mr. Landrigan talking. I'm not really a talker, so I was very quiet, and he was just kind of bring me out of my shell.
He wasn't real talkative, but I sensed that, he had the drive and wanted to do some things, and I said, well, if I can just show him the way.
Just meeting with him again weekly was definitely helpful for me to keep my grades up, keep my studies where it needed to be, just keeping the faith so that we can succeed and be a better person. I always call Frederick Beach my home. Grew up here, got family here, cousins, so we were always just hanging out together, sports, playing video games, obviously in school together. We were very close. My parents got divorced, so we were a single family household at that time, and it was just kind of rough. We had what we needed, but never, extra. Mom did what she could to put smiles on our face. So that was pretty much, my life growing up until I got into the program.
I was with GE for 41 years. I had some upper management positions. When I applied for Take Stock, I knew some other folks that had gotten involved in the program, and I said, how can I help children? I felt like from my experience and background, whatever I could contribute to make a child's life, better and pointing them in the right directions of some of the experiences that I've had in my life, then I wanted to do that.
Once I got into Take Stock, it really opened my eyes on just how many people are out there that wanted to help and that wanted to make sure you succeeded. Meeting with my mentor, it was just, hey, let's bring your grades, bring your books, let's go over kind of your schedule, make sure you're staying on task, which again, 13-year-old kid, I just want to go play video games or go play sports. That really kept me in line and making sure that I was able to be successful, have fun. Didn't want to take my childhood away, but obviously knew the end goal was to get to college, graduate from college, and be successful in the community.
He had a curiosity once I could get him to talk about some things beyond just the football and the athletics. And by the end of the 5th year, there wasn't a subject on this earth that we couldn't talk about very plainly because we'd established that trust and confidence with each other.
There was some hiccups on the way, but luckily, Mr. Landrigan definitely fought for me to stay in. I got in some trouble. Not gonna say I didn't, which could have kicked me out, and I was just more likely probably ended up being a statistic. Glad they took that chance and kept me in, and I definitely learned from it. So.
And the one thing we did focus on as we got into it was that the most important school year he was in was the one he was in right then, wasn't when he got to be a senior. I said, right now is the most important time that you got, because what you do here, that depends upon how successful you be in the next year. And he bought into it.
I had decent grades, so I knew I could probably try to get a scholarship here and there, but never to the point of full ride. I was pretty much relying on athletic ability to try to go somewhere and make something of myself. But once I joined with Take Stock and get with Mr. Landrigan, it was more of a, hey, you can have it both ways. If you're smart, you can get the athletic scholarship, you can get the academic scholarship so that you don't have to pay anything, and that's what we did.
I showed him concern. I slowed him down to recognize his own abilities and to reinforce, his own confidence.
I graduated from the Citadel, which is a military college in Charleston, South Carolina, with a bachelor's in science of civil engineering. Went on and started working for a private firm handling mostly construction admin-related projects. And I met my wife in Charleston, kind of settled down there. We've got 4 kids together. Then I switched over, got a new job at where I'm at now, Thomas & Hutton. Worked my way up the ladder there, was fortunate enough to become one of the youngest partners at the firm. So definitely liking what I do there. And so I would just say never judge a book by its cover, right? There's kids out there right now that they might not be in the best situation, but they definitely want to improve. They might not have the voice or the help from other people, family. Most of the time you can spot them in school, right? I mean, you got the kids that you know they're not in a good situation, but they're they're still trying to keep the grades up. They're still trying to work towards a better life, making sure they do everything they're supposed to do the right way. If you spot those kids, just, lend a helping hand. Sometimes that's all they need, and it can be life-changing.
Going back to balancing this thing out, because he had an early start, and the program would take stocks, once again, the structure, slowing it down, putting the priorities there. That's the key. You don't differentiate, and you apply yourself, and that's what he did, and accepting responsibility for the good and the bad, and taking advantage of those opportunities. And I couldn't be more proud of him.
The program works. If the money is there to be able to sponsor a child and to set them up with a mentor, the success is there. That chemistry between that mentee and the mentor and mentee will help them succeed, pushing them to the paths that they're supposed to go. College, again, is definitely the ultimate goal, graduating from college. We always want them to graduate, not just get there. So set them up with the success coaches that the program has will ultimately benefit their lives for the long run.